What's up everyone, Blade here once again, and today we're doing a full review and analysis on Myztero, the latest and secret legendary hero who debuted in the Tavern of Legends. At only a 0.1% chance at being summoned at the event as a bonus draw, this Dark Elemental hero is the most difficult hero in the game to acquire, making Myztero extremely rare. He's about 10 times harder to get than any other legendary hero. His very fast mana speed will only take 7 impacted tiles for a full mana charge, or only 4 if you ghost them. That is, when the team you're facing has a gap in it, fire off some tiles without hitting an enemy, and his special attack will charge that much faster. The tiles charge even quicker with fast mana speed troops, specifically the Mystic Mages. Only 3 ghosted tiles as shown here. Myztero has a unique and special innate ability to memorize status ailments. Important to note here that this ability does not grant him nor his allies immunity to status ailments. He will receive damage, but he'll remember them for later use. His special skill is called the Absordium Deflector, where he deals 107% damage to all enemies. All status ailments memorized by the innate ability are cast to all enemies. His max damage of 107% is nominal at best, but his true brilliance comes from his memorization ability. So he can memorize up to 5 status ailments before casting. In other words, he can fire any amount of memorized ailments from 1 to 5 at a time, so you don't necessarily need to be maxed out to 5, as that's just the limit. He's a very fast mana generator, so there's no need to wait all the way. Once he fires his special skill, his memory bank refreshes and begins anew. Myztero is very much a situational hero due to his special skill, so he's not just a one-size-fits-all type that you take with you just to any battle. He is a strategic character that requires special consideration. Sure, he can memorize status ailments, but the highest and best use with Myztero is particularly against damage over time enemies. Thus, in order to maximize his abilities, you'll want to use him against a damage over time heavy team. This is where Myztero truly shines. So, as funny as it's gonna sound, if you're lucky enough to get hit by one of them and still survive, his special could pay off dividends as he casts it back to the entire team. That said, there's little doubt that he was created to combat the current Holy Trinity meta of the game in Teluria, Vela, and Gravemaker. So it's imperative Myztero is kept alive and protected. It would be wise to aid him with at least 2 healers in your team, and at least one of them being a cleanser like Vivica, Regard, or Ariel. When paired with Grizzul, Myztero would benefit greatly, as she blocks all status effects on all allies. Not only will Myztero avoid being affected, but he will still memorize the status ailment, a great synergy here. His success is entirely dependent on his supporting cast, so if you're lucky enough to have him, with enough experimenting on role players, he can be absolutely deadly. Myztero will memorize any ailment from an opponent, even if it's a sniper like Marjana or Victor, and cast that sniper ailment back to the entire team, not just as a sniping attack. Here's an example of tier sniping attack and how it affects others when it's cast back. Now that we know Myztero must receive damage in order to thrive, his survivability is obviously a huge priority. A risky character for sure. But what if he dies before activating a memorized attack and you bring him back to life with a nature reviver? Will he still remember those attacks? Let's find out. Clearly no post-traumatic amnesia here. Having Myztero on your defensive lineup would be the ultimate flex, and only that, as he's simply too unreliable in virtually any defensive position, especially with non-damage over time characters who offer raw hits. Now, it's not impossible to have a somewhat decent defensive team with Myztero in it, but you're better off with most 4-star heroes in place of him on a defensive team, let alone 5 stars. Finally, with all things considered, we'll go over his class. Myztero is a rogue class, a defensive hero class with the chance to dodge enemy special skills with evade. The rogue class doesn't negatively affect his memorization effects, as he'll memorize the ailment without taking any damage. When he actually dodges an ailment special, this makes the rogue class the perfect fit for Myztero. At 0.1% chance of summoning Myztero, if you were lucky enough to acquire him, keep your eyes peeled for the Trials of Survival and the Trials of Shadows class quest to acquire these emblems. All in all, Myztero is a niche hero with a cool technical concept, and therefore fun to use when used intelligently, and should truly only be used on the offensive end. His success depends on his supporting cast and the enemies you choose to go into battle with. He truly is one of a kind. If you master the use of Myztero, he can be a complete annihilator. Styles make fights, and he's a shining example of it. So guys, if you're looking for more Empires and Puzzles insights and videos, subscribe so you can see them when they're posted so you won't miss a beat and stay on top of your game. Also, check out these other videos and get your game on. Until the next video, take care.